All right. Question number 8. What
H.
does a post Zach Edey world look like in West Lafayette? I think it's really interesting. And Fan, I'll hand it off to you first on this one. I think it's really interesting that you lose the most impactful player, the best player we've seen in a generation in college basketball, and Matt Painter did not go in the portal. He just said, "All right, we're going to run it back. We're going to figure this thing out. Trey Kaufman Wren, Cam Heide, Miles Colvin, someone's going to take a step forward. We'll figure this thing out with what we got." I just, that's not normal in 2024 and 2025 in college basketball. I'm very curious to see how this thing plays out for Purdue. And spoiler alert, I'm very bullish on Purdue as well.
Well, let's start with this. Officials will be able to breathe easier when they get out to West Lafayette at Mackey Arena. Uh,
Yeah.
Players on the floor will be able to avoid having to look around the towering tree that is Zach Edey. It might be easier for some fans to see the entire game because of how towering of a force Mr. Edey is and was, and we wish him the very best at the next level. But I think that we're all wondering this. I even think that Matt Painter would admit to you, and this is where I love Paint. He's so truthful. He kind of he doesn't really give a damn what question is asked of him. He just is going to tell you how he feels now, which I love. And when you get humbled like they did in the NCAA tournament in that unfortunate event, and then go all the way to the national championship game, that kind of puts things in perspective of like you can't get too nerve-wracked at different people talking to you about different things that you've seen. Matt Painter's seen it all the last 2 years in college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would tell you he's wondering. But here's what he knows. He knows he has one of the best backcourts in the country, and he could have a guy who ends up being as good as any guard in the country, besides maybe Mark Sears. And even then, Braden Smith is that special. And if you follow Purdue's accounts or even follow the Purdue guards, all I have seen all summer was Braden Smith and Fletcher Loyer working out and getting better and just putting in the time and putting in the work. That's a Purdue guard. That's the Purdue way. Cam Heide is poised for a major breakout, and I think we will see it because I think Purdue, one, is going to give him shot opportunities because shot allocation is going to be very different. The question is simple. How does a Miles Colvin, how does a
He's huge.
Yes, he's huge. How does a Trey Kaufman Wren? How does a Cam Heide? How do those guys handle more shots in a game?
Yeah. Guys, it's hard to win the Kentucky Derby with Shetland ponies. So, look, they're good. They're good, but they were really good because they had that big fella in the middle. And Braden Smith's really good. I think he's really talented. I don't know that without that interior presence and always worrying where Zach Edey is, how well that's going to go whenever they're trying to attack the rim. And for that matter, guys, I can't remember the last time Painter just went all in on, I'm not going to play a huge person.
It was 2019? It was the Carson Edwards year. And he just went all in on chucking up threes. They led the nation, or they set a record for most three-pointers attempted in the Big Ten that season. And it was like a 1-year blip between Isaac Haas and Trevion Williams.
So this was 2020?
2019.
Okay, Trevion Williams was on the team then. So 2019, they went 26-10. The following year, were they 16-15?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of respect for Fletcher Loyer and Braden Smith for what they are able to wrench out every single bit of talent out of their bodies. Every single bit. How are they going to get the defense to move with guys that aren't necessarily the quickest, the fastest guys? And Fletcher Loyer had great games. He had great games, but a lot of his points were the result of the ball going inside and then that ball getting skipped around quickly and then him getting open shots. He's not necessarily one of these guys. I love his game. I think he's a super solid piece. He's going to play in Europe for a while after he's done at Purdue if he so desires. I'm just worried that without constant rim pressure, how's it going to go? And do they have such little faith in Will Berg? Is Daniel Jacobson going to be ready at that skinny state that he's in? How's it going to go? I do have all the faith in the world that Paint's going to be able to draw stuff up to get that ball moving quickly to where they're going to be at least be able to attack closeouts. How are they going to be able to finish against those closeouts? That's my biggest concern. I have them 4th, and that's giving them some benefit of the doubt that they're going to be tough, hard-nosed dudes. I could actually see it going a little bit worse for Purdue.
Yeah, I just bet on the player development there. I think they're going to find a way to be good enough, and I think that they're going to be a top 10-ish, top 12-ish, top 15-ish kind of a team in the mix for a Big Ten regular season title when it's all said.
Do you think they're going to be top 10 to top 12 all year?
I mean, they're going to be somewhere.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Like I'm trying to see it because I like Purdue. I love Paint. I just don't see it with those players.
Yeah, I just bet on the pieces getting better.
Yes.
That's it. Okay. It's the same thing. T.O., it's kind of like it's similar to UConn in the sense where if you're looking at the piece, like just at the paper, it's kind of like this is not a top 10 team, but you just kind of say like they're going to find a way to get better. And I'm not saying that I don't think I'm ever going to have Purdue circled as like, okay, I think that they're a Final Four contender. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to put them in the national championship tier. I just think that they're going to be good and solid and well coached and good enough offensively that they'll be maybe top 12-ish is a little bit bullish, but top like 15 to top 20 all year long.
UConn just has pop. They just have pop.
No, Creighton has pop.
Creighton has pop. I don't know that Purdue has any pop. Like the biggest thing that they came at me last year was, hey, Miles Colvin, he's an athlete. Okay, fine. What, he averaged 3 points a game?
That's
like they don't have any pop. Look at UConn's roster.
Hey, did you see Cam Heidi's dunk in the Final Four? Or were you too busy calling a Hornets game?
Okay. Sorry, Cam Heidi's your guy. If Cam Heidi's your guy, we're
a little.
I think my point's going to prove itself. Hey, look, I do think they'll be top 25 because Paint's going to have them there. I just that top end is not where it was last year.
Well,
they made the national championship game, so I'm splitting hairs here, but like I just don't think there's no pop.
It's impossible to not take a step back when you lose somebody as good as Zach Edey, and there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to take a step back. But I just don't think that like we're looking, and I don't think you're saying this to you. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I just don't see them being like having it be a 16 to 15 season. I think we're looking at like a 20.
No. 20.
Yeah, I know you're not saying that. I know you're not saying that. I know you're not saying
20. It's just they've set such a standard, and I'm arguing against that standard. So 20 to 24 games is kind of where I'm at with them.
Yep.
So this is something that's not being talked about enough. I know the timer's probably already gone off, but in the Big Ten,
hours ago.
Wait, in the Big Ten this year, you have the schedule pairings. Okay, and not everybody's going home and away. Now, you've had it before, but with the West Coast teams, I think it makes a total difference. Purdue away games. Illinois, they don't get them at home. Iowa, don't get them at home. Not an easy place to play. Michigan State, they don't get Michigan State at Mackey. They have to go to East Lansing. Oregon, they have to go to Oregon. They have to go to Washington, who they should beat, but it's. I'd actually rather go to USC than I would have to go off to the Pacific Northwest this year. They get UCLA and USC at home this year. Indiana, they have to go to Indiana. Michigan, they have to go to Michigan. Now, they get both those teams at home, but they have to go to Rutgers as well. Their Big Ten road games are hard. I am going to be paying close attention to that. That is going to impact conference standings. Where you have to go and who you only get at your building. That's going to make a difference. Mackey is a really hard place to play, but I just listed it. They don't get Illinois at Mackey. They don't get Michigan State at Mackey. They have to go to Oregon, who looks like a top 25 team, if not better. So they're the Big Ten, that's a challenging schedule for Purdue. There's one really good thing in there. There's 2 Purdue-Indiana games this upcoming year. That should happen every year. That rivalry is real. I can't wait. What I am excited for is to see Assembly Hall on fire again.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue because
Hey, Jakari Harris, son of the big dog. He's a good player. I like him at Purdue. We'll see if he can make an impact in year one. I just don't see. Sorry, guys. Purdue guys, I love them. It's hard for me to see it. It's hard for me to see it.